Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about our 2-week Alaska vacation. And we decided to do a Holland America cruise tour. And for those who are unfamiliar with the cruise tours, they pretty much just include a land portion and then a sea portion. And so we did the Y2L cruise tour, which ended up breaking down to being about 7 days on land and then a 7-day cruise. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start talking about this Holland America cruise tour.
Walking dreams. Oh yeah. Wake up in the morning feeling so bright. Gonna seize the day, make everything right.
This cruise tour started and ended from Vancouver. This trip was me, my husband, and my brother-in-law. So the first night of this trip, you stay in the Vancouver Airport Hotel, which is a nice hotel, but one thing that kind of caught us off guard was the room had a sliding door between the bathroom and the bedroom, and it didn't lock. So that was interesting to say the least. So if that's something you're not going to be comfortable with, just keep that in mind when you're booking and maybe get separate rooms. After that, we woke up the next day, dropped off our luggage, boarded the plane, and you head over to Dawson City. And then in Dawson City is where we met with our tour director. And this is kind of where you're given a folder that has all the info in it, and you're really told about the itinerary and what to expect from there. So once you make it to Dawson City, you're there for the rest of that day. And then the next day, you have a full day. We hadn't booked anything at this point. We were kind of just planning on seeing what people recommended to do. And the two things we kept hearing about were diamond tooth Gerties and this famous cocktail that you can have there. But I don't think anybody in our group actually tried that cocktail. It's like a world famous cocktail that has a mummified human toe in it. If you go, or if you've tried it before, let us know how it was. But we had no interest, so we didn't try it for you guys. Sorry. And then Diamond Tooth Gerties is just this play area. We went and we saw a show there the first night, which was kind of fun, and Mo got pulled into the show as well. So I'll definitely be putting in like a quick little clip of that so you can enjoy.
5, 6, 7, 8. Now jump, knee, and swing those hips. Ooh, I like how it's going. Now other side, jump, knee, and swing those hips. Now we're gonna remember, start with the right, alternate, jump and kick down the left, or in most cases the opposite. That's fine. Now you're gonna turn around yourself, and now remember you think of an ending pose. All right, not bad.
But the other thing we're hearing about too is this place called Midnight Dome. And you can either get a vehicle and drive up to the top, or it's a pretty decent hike. And we were definitely interested in doing the hike. We talked to a couple people about doing it, and they did warn us that there was a bear that was active in the area and along that trail. So they did recommend going to I believe it was the local visitor center, and renting bear spray to at least take with us on the trail just in case we needed it. So we went and got the bear spray and headed out for the hike. It started out kind of sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. I was already a little nervous about the whole there's a bear in the area. As long as you know how to track and like look for signs of a bear, we were all like, yeah, of course we know how to look for signs of a bear. Spoiler alert, we don't know how to look for signs of a bear. So we were trying to look up like pictures of bear scat and stuff so that we could keep an eye out. And we were like, I mean, if we see bear paws, that would be pretty obvious. Or, if we saw the bear, that would be very obvious. But we were hoping that it didn't come to that.
Gonna sing my heart out and shout it from the rooftops. No more worries or stress, just good vibes non-stop. Feeling so alive and it's only just begun. This happiness inside me can't be outdone.
So we did the hike. It was about 7 miles total because we did the hike up through the woods, like through the actual trail. And then when we made it up to the top, I mentioned before that you could also take a car up here. And so you make it to the road, and we actually decided to go ahead and take the road back to Dawson City.
Walking down the street with the breath in my stride. People all around me can't help but feel this vibe. No time for sorrow, only joy in my heart. Every day is a chance for...
All right, so the next day we were back on a plane and heading over to Fairbanks, Alaska. But once everyone was back on the bus, we headed over to Gold Dredge 8, which I believe is only part of this tour if you do the land portion first. So if you're into history, this place will probably be pretty interesting for you. You're able to tour the entire Gold Dredge and then check out the mining museum, hop on their little replica railroad, which is kind of fun. You get to see a couple things. And then, of course, you get to try your hand at gold panning, which is actually a lot harder than it looks. Once everyone had secured their gold and grabbed their gifts, we were back on the bus and heading for the McKinley Chalet Resort in Denali National Park. So this is probably one of my favorite hotels that we have ever stayed at, not just because of the sheer size of the room, but because the bathroom had heated floors, which, if you've never experienced, is an absolute game changer. Unfortunately, Kareem told me that it would be too expensive to add this feature into our future home, so I had to enjoy it while I could on this trip. The next day is probably one of the biggest things that I was excited for during the land portion of this trip. So the day starts with you getting back on the bus, but you are heading out to Denali National Park for the Tundra Wilderness Tour. The biggest thing that they point out while you're on this trip is seeing Alaska's like top 4, which is the caribou, the moose, grizzlies, and the sheep. I did see everything, including the sheep, on this portion of the trip. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any kind of good footage of the sheep because they were at the top of the mountains, hanging out on the side. But later on in this video, you will see a snippet of when I was actually able to catch one while we were heading for the cruise ship at the end of the 7 days. So that's exciting. But in the meantime, enjoy looking at the bears and the moose and the caribou that were running around, and also just take in that scenery, because you don't see this often, and it's just, you just have to appreciate it. So just take a moment and hang out.
All right, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Kareem, Mo, and Corey, you know, the losers, hanging out in Alaska. I'm kind of sick right now, and the pharmacist, this person, does not have any meds, and it really is kind of out of character.
Very cringe.
This guy over here is pretending like he's in Minnesota still, so he's over here with barely anything on.
He's like practically naked.
Practically naked. We don't like it. Look at that moose snuggle. But yeah. We'll update you on what's going on later when Mo's eating a hamburger. Bye.
After the wilderness tour, we went back to the resort and got ready for our whitewater rafting excursion. No videos of this, but here are a couple pictures of the experience. This was our first time whitewater rafting, and we absolutely loved it. The next day we hopped on the McKinley Explorer, which is this luxurious dome train. The windows run the length of the train car, so you get to enjoy magnificent views for the entire trip, which is great because this is pretty much all you'll be doing today. So go ahead, kick back and relax. And yes, in case you're wondering, food, drinks, and of course a gift shop are available on board.
What are you doing? What is this? Who are you?
Deep.
Deep?
Deep. Quick, Ray, flashbang. Flashbang.
No flashbang.
Flashbang. I caught your flashbang.
So once the train arrives in Anchorage, you board a bus and are shuttled to your hotel that you'll be staying at for the next 2 nights. So you have the rest of that day to explore Anchorage, and then you have a full free day the next day to do stuff. So we didn't do any like big things here. We just kind of explored the area. We walked around, we checked out a bunch of the local shops, got some food, and then we also Ubered over to the zoo for a little bit as well. After your time in Anchorage, you do board another train, but this one's a lot quicker of a trip, and you're heading over to Whittier, which is where the cruise port is. And as you can see, our boat was ready and waiting for us, but this is going to be where I end this video, and we will pick up next time with our 7-day Alaska cruise. So I will catch you guys in the next video.